Hello and welcome to Trystology Talk, Sex and the Empowered Woman, where we will be having frank discussions about sexuality, female self-pleasure, and intimacy and play with partners. I am your hostess, Roylin Downs, and this is episode 9. We are so excited to be bringing you these episodes and having so much fun bringing you all this information. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. And if you are, and you know of anybody that could benefit from the information, please don't be afraid to share. You know how to do that, trystologytalk.com or our youtube.com/Trystology. We really want to get this information out there and you can help. We're also always looking for suggestions on what you'd like to hear. And so make sure that you share with us on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel in the comment section under our episodes. We look forward to hearing from you. With that, we'll start with our newest episode. This one is going to be about anal play. There's so much fear and hype and actually some excitement about anal play. So hopefully today we can dispel some of those fears. We can offer some advice and also encourage you to enjoy anal play. But have you had your orgasm today? I love asking that because nobody ever asks that. So yes, I've had my orgasm today, but I wanted to share with you that it just wasn't that easy. Let me tell you why, because here's the thing. I've been totally stressed out. Business has been kind of like crazy. We're making some changes at our brick and mortar. My husband has been sick, like so sick, like a week going on to a week, and he's still not feeling better. So nobody is really interested in sex when there are sniffling and coughing mess. So needless to say, I am lacking on my intimacy front. So it's been a few days and I have been kind of waiting to see if the tides have turned, and they haven't. So I've been a little bit of a stress bomb. You know how that is, you know. I needed my orgasm. So you all know I practice what I preach, and I worked it in the shower today. I'm a shower girl when life is busy and things get in the way. So I think a shower is always a great place to have an orgasm. So I did mine in the shower. But here's the thing. When you're a stress bomb, it takes so much more to achieve an orgasm, because you know our brain is our biggest sex organ and our body gets so tight and tense because of the stress we're under, and whether it's because we're taking care of our family and because of work and all that. And so it takes so much more to release that stress. And it kind of reminds me of, you know, if I was being intimate with my husband, it would probably have taken 40 minutes for me to really achieve an orgasm because it's just so tight. So I just wanted you to kind of know that whether you're an orgasm day person or you're striving to achieve an orgasm a day, it sometimes does take longer and a little bit more to be able to achieve that orgasm. So have one. It's the best thing that you can do. It'll make you feel much, much better. So have you had your orgasm today? Do it. All right. What did we hear in the store this week? So the funnest thing that we hear in the store is when people see our little We Vibe sign that we have in our window. We have this lovely lingerie shop downstairs, and we have this sign in the window. Cheaper than couples counseling. And oh my God, we get so many giggles and laughs. And it doesn't matter if they're in their 20s or in their 70s. People are always commenting on cheaper than couples counseling, and they're always in agreement, and it usually brings them in to ask us about cheaper than couples counseling. So that is what we've been hearing in the store this week. So let's start with anal play. It's so funny that I talk about anal play now after being in business 8 years. When I first started, I was really, really uncomfortable with anal. I didn't want to sell any anal products, and I wasn't going to represent anal at all. And my distributor, Lisa, she was so funny. She was like, well, Roylin, perhaps we should discuss this because it's really a subject that needs to be represented in a store like yours. So she recommended that I read The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex for Women, which I have here. It's by Tristan Taormino. And so it's kind of one of those really cool books for people like me because I'm an information gatherer. So I'm someone who wants to kind of research, look at things, get all the information. I didn't have a great idea of what anal play would be like because my experiences hadn't been so positive in the past. And so I wasn't quite sure that I really wanted to kind of go that route. My store was going to be more just about women and clitoral orgasms and rabbit style toys and things like that. But Lisa, love her, she had me read this book and I learned a lot. It was the right book for me, and I've had some customers, and it's really good to kind of share this with you, that I've had men in the store that wanted to have anal sex, and their wives were like, ah. And so when I bring out the books, one of the books is The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex for Women, but the other book is called Tickle My Tush. So there's two totally different approaches to the same subject, but one of them has these incredible little pictures. So some people feel more comfortable with all of the data that seems to be available in the Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex for Women, and some people feel more comfortable with just the facts. Just give me the details and let me know where I need to go. So just so you know, there's a couple of different ways to learn about it from different books, and it can be with your comfort zone. More information, more pictures. So what happens when people talk about anal sex? Is it going to be painful? Some people's perceptions are, this is only exit only, I'm not going to discuss this. People perceive that men want it and that women don't want it, that it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be something I have to do but I don't like. So in reading the book and in discussion, I realized that there was nothing to be afraid of. Afraid of pain. It's not supposed to be painful. It's supposed to be enjoyable. Some people tell me they can only have orgasms when they have anal sex, so it can't be a bad thing. And if you're doing it properly, like using lube and you're relaxing and there's a graduation in the process, nothing should go wrong with anal sex. So today we're going to be discussing anal sex for women. We're going to have a totally separate episode about anal sex for men because prostate stimulation, as we discussed in the sexual health episode, is so important. But the anal sex for women, it's funny because I was telling somebody I was going to be doing the anal sex episode, and they're like, is it too soon to talk about anal sex in your episodes? You're only in episode 9. But I think it's really important to talk about anal sex now because it is something that in every relationship, whether the woman is a lesbian, whether they're heterosexual, whether they're bisexual, women are going to be encountering anal play because it's kind of a big deal. The anus has thousands of sensory nerves. And so to avoid that aspect of our body and avoid that aspect of our life is kind of something that you kind of miss out on, a pretty cool experience if you're doing it right. So I recommend people explore it, but the big part of it is to make sure that you're having a positive association with anal play and not, the negative, the one that, oh no, it's going to hurt, it's not going to be right. So we have to have a positive association with it. And so that's what we're going to show you today. How do you have a positive association? Well, first of all, deciding that you want to explore it is important. I know that I've always talked about going with your most uncomfortable person in any subject. So when people come into the store to shop and one of them is very uncomfortable, I always cater to the most uncomfortable person because when you're trying to rush someone who's uncomfortable into a subject that they just don't want to talk about, then you really kind of can do damage to the process of moving forward in that subject. So the same is true with anal play. So you've got a person that's uncomfortable. let's start addressing the issues. So by communication, that's the most important thing. A person that is willing to discuss and be open about anal or anal sex or anal play, anal exploration, then the communication is the important part. So both partners need to discuss the concerns. In one case with the couple that was in the store where she was just not really open to it, but he was the one apologizing. He knew he had rushed. She wanted to open her up to that, and I promised to do it differently next time. I'm going to learn about it. I'm going to learn what I want. The communication part is really key, because all throughout the process of anal play, there should be communication. You're going to be using lubricant. Lubrication is essential. Communication is key. So we're going to talk about size. Can I start with a finger? Can I use a little toy? People come into the store and they want to approach anal play and they're concerned about it. So we usually introduce a toy, and we'll be discussing the anal play toys later in the episode. But when we start, we look at something called the perfect plug, which Tantus came with a home run with this one. The perfect plug is perfect. It's no bigger than the size of a finger. It's silicone, it's flexible, it's super hygienic, and it's really comfortable in the fit here. So you can see this if you are on the YouTube channel. Take a peek at that on our website. It's the Tantus Perfect Plug. So we usually start with something like this, and it can be inserted gently. Communication is key. So we talk about, where are we going to start? Are we going to start with the whole thing in there? We're just going to use a finger. So anal play, the key is all this surface area that's on this plug. When it's inserted into the anus, all those sensory nerves around the anus are now touching the anal toy as it's being inserted. Lubrication is key to make it easily inserted. And we want to make sure that it's comfortable. So relaxation, communication, relaxation, lubricant. So those are some really important aspects of it. Having a positive association. We usually, when we're discussing anal play, we try, with a woman, we try to incorporate some clitoral play, some internal play. So you have this combination of pleasure sensation with the clitoris as well as the insertion for the anal play. And how does that all work? Well, what happens is when you have clitoral play during anal play, it can heighten, because of all those sensory nerves, it can heighten the sensation not only in the anus, but in the clitoris. So we have anal play going on and clitoral play. It takes it to what I call another level, or what I call crazy making. It's just one of those really amazing sensations when you've got anal play going on and clitoral or nipple or internal play happening with the body. So I don't want you to be afraid of anal sex. Anal sex is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be pleasurable, and it's supposed to be something that is enjoyed between both partners. So here's something fun I heard from a customer this weekend. They came in looking for a vibrating anal plug because since there is a very thin membrane between the anus and the vagina, when she wears an anal plug, he can feel it. And so the vibration piece of it is really kind of fun for both partners. I don't always recommend or suggest that people have to have a vibrating anal plug, because it's kind of like the G-spot philosophy. You don't always have to have a vibration for the G-spot. So I feel the same way about the anus. When you have the toy in the body, all those sensory nerves are already being stimulated by just the fact that something's in there. You don't necessarily need the vibration, but when you think about your partner enjoying vibration and that they can feel it through that thin membrane, then that's kind of another fun way to enjoy anal play with your partner, because they can share it. Anal play is supposed to be fun. Don't be afraid of it. Let's look at some of the toys that you can use for anal play, because I think having the toys are an really great way to kind of introduce anal sex and graduate to anal sex from a positive association with anal play. So like I said about this really cute little perfect plug, and I do believe it is perfect. This one is a great starter because it can be smaller than a finger. It can be inserted and it is flexible. So one of the things that people worry about is when the penis gets inserted into the vagina, the toy that's in there can be pushed out. So it's kind of an awkward and uncomfortable feeling that some people can have. When you have a metal plug or a glass plug, you can see that they have no resistance and they have no flexibility to go with the body, the way that the body is shaped. They have other benefits, but they don't necessarily have that flexibility. So a perfect plug is great for that sort of thing. We've already talked about the benefits of a vibrating plug. So you've got all those thousands of sensory nerves that are being stimulated by the toy just from the insertion, and then you're going to amplify it with a vibration, pulsation, and then the ability to share that with your partner. And then having either a glass or a steel toy. The thing about those, we talked about that in our sensory play discussion. They can be warm to body temperature or chilled. And there's nothing wrong with something that's body temperature being inserted into the body. It makes it so much more like not an intrusion, so much more comfortable. But then again, some people really want to have those sensations stimulated by a chill. So you can put these in the refrigerator and chill them before inserting them into the body, and then woo, woo, you got a little bit of sensation that way. I like the Enjoy plugs because these metal plugs are really narrow at the entrance, and you've got all this sensory surface for all those sensory nerves to be stimulated by. But the glass is also beautiful, and if you could see this, and you're not on the podcast, the booty bling, as we call it, from Crystal Delights, they have these gorgeous crystals on the end of theirs, and these can be warmed or chilled to body temperature as well. Glass and steel are super hygienic, and when we discuss anal play, which I haven't talked about at all, cleanliness is something that a lot of people are concerned about. The thing is that while we do defecate through the anus, any of the excrement that is there usually comes out, and there's very little left in the canal. And that's the biggest fear a lot of people have, that it's not clean. The reality is it is. It's really, really fairly clean. And you can do enemas or cleaning of the anus before you have anal sex or do anal play, but the reality is it's not really necessary and something that you have to do. Just depends on your level of comfort. So with that in mind, I also wanted to mention, and I know we've talked about this in our lube sections before, but when you have an anal glide that has like Soothe from Intimate Earth or Intimate Organics, when it has guava bark in, it's a natural antibacterial property that helps people feel comfort with the cleanliness of the toys and with the process of anal play. So you can always get a lube that feels like it'll help with cleaning. You can also have wipes, cleaning wipes, antibacterial wipes that are at hand. So if anything does happen during anal play, you're easily clean up and no bothers. So those are some of the techniques that I would recommend. I do have one last thing. This guy is so cute. Flexi Felix. When you're looking at anal toys, beads are one of the ways that a lot of people go, because the thing with beads is they're inserted and then you can pull them out during orgasm. And this is the Flexi Felix. It's kind of fanciful. Fun Factory tends to make kind of cute products that have characters to them, and this has these little holes for this caterpillar character, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads. It's very, very flexible, so I recommend this one for a little bit more advanced use, because the insertion of something that has a little bit more flexibility can be a little bit more awkward. But there are a number of anal beads that you can buy that are a little bit more sturdy or a little bit more firm. And then you want something that has a handle that you can pull out fairly easily during orgasm. And why do you have that? Because, as I said, it's just amplifies the sensation and takes it to that other level, which is what I call crazy making. Well, that's the end of our episode about anal play. I'm Roylin with Trystology Talk, Sex and the Empowered Woman. We hope you join us again in our next episode and go out there and have fun. Trystology for passionate well-being. It's okay to look.